I am the kind of sole owner. Don Younger and I started it 10 years ago. We bought it from some other guys. Don passed away about a year ago, which was a very sad deal, a sad situation, but Don's memory and legacy lives on in Lompoc and the horse brass and kind of the whole beer industry in general here in Oregon. The reason I kind of brought that up is I thought I'd talk for a second or two about the new Old Lompoc closing over on Northwest 23rd Avenue. We got two guys named Goforth and Rice started the Old Lompoc in 1992. They named it the Old Lompoc House after a movie called The Bank Dick with W.C. Fields and I forget who the gal was. But basically the whole movie took place in a boarding house called the New Old Lompoc House and a bar called the Black Pussycat. And it was also kind of not only was it a movie, but in the 50s and early 60s there was a dive bar over on Portland State called the New Old Lompoc. And I've seen a few pictures of it, but basically, from what I understand, it had dirt floors, kind of sawdust on the floor, peanut shells on the floor. It's kind of a real dump. So when the guys saw the building on Northwest 23rd, they immediately said, "This reminds me of this dump I used to go to in college called the Old Lompoc," and that was kind of where the name came from. And so when Don and I bought it in 2000, as a trying to come up, recreate the wheel, Don's ingenious idea was, why don't we just call it the New Old Lompoc? So that was kind of how that name came about. But when Don and I purchased it, we've always kind of known that it was going to get torn down at some point. In fact, in 2000 when we bought it, we thought we had about 3 years. And obviously we had about 12 more years. But it is going to be a sad day over there when it gets torn down. The last day is going to be the 28th. Mrs. Chris will probably send out quite a few more press releases on kind of what's going on over there. But we're calling the whole last week Lompocalypse, which we kind of thought was very fitting. There's kind of something fun going on every night, some free appetizers. We're going to have a lot of beers, a couple bands, a couple nights. So that's going to be very sad. I will try not to cry here in the next 2 or 3 minutes as I get through here. But we are really excited to announce that we did sign a lease with the new developer, so we're really excited about that. It will not have a brewery. We will not have a huge outdoor patio in the back, but we will have a fairly large patio out front that will seat about half as many as we do now, so it should seat about 40 to 50 out front, which will be kind of cool on 23rd Avenue. I don't know if you guys know, that building was condemned in the 70s, and how it got reopened as the Oasis Cafe in the mid-80s, I have no idea, and then it kind of sat there for a long time until Goforth and Rice opened back up. So the reason I mention that is we're very excited to have a new building. We're kind of sad to see the old one go, but believe me, good riddance. You do not want to know that building is bad. It should be condemned. But it's been very great to us. It's kind of a staple on the north end of 23rd, Trinity 3rd, which I guess it's finally coming down to that end with all the apartments that are going to go in.